Welcome to Michigan in Focus, powered by thecentersquare.com. This episode features a piece by Center Square Michigan reporter Scott McClellan, headlined, quote, 25 Michigan lawmakers to Biden reject federal vehicle rules, end quote. Here's the story. 25 Michigan lawmakers oppose President Joe Biden administration's electric vehicle mandate through the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. The EPA rules for light-duty and medium-duty vehicles phased in from 2027 through 2032 will require about 67% of new car sales to be electric by 2032. Republican lawmakers said the mandate will destroy auto jobs in Michigan, responsible for 19% of U.S. automotive production. Producing EVs requires 30% less human labor. The lawmakers wrote, quote, the imposition of electric vehicle mandates raises significant concerns about consumer choice, economic impacts, and technological feasibility. While the goal of making automobiles safer and more environmentally friendly is certainly laudable, it should be done in a balanced, market-driven approach that prioritizes the varying needs and preferences of motorists, end quote. The letter, citing reporting from the Center Square about states opposing EV mandates, says the auto industry supports about 1.1 million Michigan jobs, or 20% of the state's workforce. The Biden administration targeted that 50% of all new vehicle sales will be electric by 2030. The International Energy Agency estimated that 14% of all new cars sold in 2022 were electric, up from around 9% in 2021 and less than 5% in 2020. Kelley Blue Book says the 2023 total vehicle market share was 7.6%. The letter says, quote, these targets are almost certainly unachievable, but will nevertheless likely prove to be extremely costly for motorists in Michigan and around the country, end quote. Republican floor leader Brian Postumus of Rockford, Representative Ann Bolin, a Republican from Brighton Township, and Representative Kurt Vanderwall, a Republican from Ludington, signed the letter. The letter says, quote, we are deeply concerned about the impact this rule could have not only on workers in Michigan who have decades of experience building automobiles powered by liquid fuels, but also those who are employed by many original equipment manufacturers who supply parts for those same vehicles. Of the top 100 automotive suppliers in North America, 96 have a presence and 60 are headquartered here in Michigan, end quote. The letter follows a poll finding that half of likely voters say the Biden administration should reduce its targets for EV sales. Moreover, about 2/3 of likely voters say EV demand isn't meeting the government's push. The letter continues, quote, therefore, we strongly urge President Biden and Office of Management and Budget to halt and reject implementation of the EPA's proposed tailpipe rule, end quote. Listeners can keep up with this story and more at thecentersquare.com. This podcast was made with the assistance of AI technology. Please subscribe, and thanks for listening.
Are you tired of news that puts politics over people? At the nonprofit Franklin News Foundation, we believe in putting people over politics by delivering nonpartisan news and audio content that serves you, the American taxpayer. With Franklin News Foundation, you can read fact-based, state-focused news for free at thecentersquare.com. You can listen to civil, balanced conversations between policy experts through our podcast network at americastalking.com. Or you can get in-depth news on K-12 education spending, curriculum, and school safety at chalkboardnews.com. It's all free through Franklin, where we put you, the American taxpayer, first in every story, episode, and conversation. And it's only possible through our supporters. Together, we can produce content that puts people over politics and brings Americans the news they deserve. Become a supporter today at franklinnews.org/donate. Once again, that's franklinnews.org/donate.